Good day, class. So in this video, we are going to talk about lesson 5, which is method. So our topic 1 will be what is method in Java and its examples. So para saan nga ba yung methods? No? Bakit kailangan natin gumamit ng methods? Especially kapag masyadong mahaba na yung mga codes natin and paulit-ulit yung mga formulas and yung mga instructions. A method is a way to perform some tasks. So similarly, the method in Java is a collection of instructions that perform a specific task. So para siyang isang block of code or isang grupo ng mga codes na nagpa-perform lang sila ng isang specific task. For example, gumawa ka ng method na ang task lang nila to get the sum of these numbers or to get the average of these numbers. No, it provides the reusability of code. Ito yung kagandahan sa methods. No? So, para kang gumagawa ng template or formula na reusable siya for the whole program. Ibig sabihin, isang beses ka lang gagawa ng method or isang beses ka lang gagawa ng template and then pwede mo na siyang paulit-ulit na gamitin. Now, for example, gumawa ka ng method na kailangan nagko-compute ng average. So, sa isang student, kung hindi ka gagamit ng method, so paano kung 50 yung students mo? So, ilang beses ka gagawa ng formula? Wherein, kapag gumamit ka ng methods, just create a method and create a formula on how to compute the average, and then yung nabuo mong template is pwede mo na siyang gamitin ng paulit-ulit within your program. Yan. So, method declaration. So, it provides information about method attributes such as visibility, return type, name, and arguments. So, it has 6 components that are known as method header as shown in the following figure. Ayan. So, ito yung mga components na ginagamit natin for method. So, unang-una, meron tayong tinatawag na access specifier. Pwede mong specify kung public ba or private yung isang method. So, when you say public, accessible siya kahit sa ibang mga classes. Pero pag private, accessible lang siya within sa class kung saan mo siya dineclare. So, when you say return type naman, so ang method kasi ay may kakayahan na mag-return ng value. When you say value kasi iba-iba yan. Pwedeng string, pwedeng integer, pwedeng double. So, anong klaseng data type ba yung i-return ng isang method? So, dito mo yun nilalagay. Kung integer ba siya or double ba siya or string, it's up to you. And then, method name. So, itong method name ay unique name yan. So, it is user-defined or programmer-defined. So, ikaw yung bahalang mag-name dun sa method na yon. And then we have parameter list. Ilan ba yung mga values na kailangan mo for this method? Ayan, method signature. Every method has a method signature. It is a part of the method declaration and it includes the method name and parameter list. Ayan, so kung mapapansin nyo dito sa illustration, ito yung tinatawag na method signature. Binubuo ng method name and parameter list. Access specifier, ayan. So it specifies the visibility of the method. Merong 4 na klase ng access specifier. So we have public. Katulad ng sinabi ko kanina, when we say public, the method is accessible by all classes. But when we say private, yung method na ginawa nyo is accessible only kung saan nyo siya dineclare na class. Kung saan nyo lang siya dinefine, dun lang siya accessible. Protected. When we use protected access specifier, the method is accessible within the same package or subclasses in a different package. And when we say default, we do not use any access specifier. So, kasi pwedeng hindi ka maglagay ng specifier. So, yun yung tinatawag na default. Return type. When we say return type, so it is a data type that the method returns. So, it may have a primitive data type, object, collection, void, etc. So, if ever na merong mga methods na hindi naman kailangan mag-return ng value, no? Like, gusto niya lang naman mag-display ng text or message, no? Pwede ka nang gumamit ng void na keyword. No? So, instead na integer, string, double, wala ka na mai-return na value, pwede na yung void. And then we have method name. So, it is a unique name that is used to define the name of a method. So, it must be corresponding to the functionality of the method. If you are supposed to create a method for subtraction of two numbers, the method name must be subtraction. Pero again, no, it's up to you kung ano yung gusto mong ipangalan sa gagawin mong method. Parameter list. So, ito namang parameter list ay separated by comma and enclosed with a pair of parentheses. Sila yung nasa loob ng parentheses. So, ito yung naglalaman ng data type and variable names na kakailanganin, no, inside the method. So, if a method has no parameter, left the parentheses blank. So, kasi merong mga methods na kahit wala namang parameters, pwede naman. No? Depende sa task na gagawin ng method na to. Kung wala naman siyang kailangan i-compute, pwede na tayo na hindi maglagay ng parameter, no? Parenthesis lang. And then, method body. So, it is a part of a method declaration. So, it contains all the actions to be performed. Dito nakalagay lahat ng operations na gagamitin mo for the method. So, it is enclosed within the pair of curly braces. Naming a method. So, although a method name can be any legal identifier, code conventions restrict method names. So, by convention, method name should be a verb in lowercase or a multi-word name that begins with a verb in lowercase, followed by adjectives or noun. In multi-word names, first letter of each of the second and the following word should be capitalized. So actually, when naming a method, it also applies the same rule katulad ng ginagawa natin sa variables. Ganon din naman siya. Pero kasi, no, para mas madali natin ma-recognize na, method pala to. No, itong ginawa natin. And then, this method performs specific tasks. No, mas magandang i-name natin sa method natin kung ano ba yung task talaga na gagawin niya. Now, for example, ang task niya is to compute the sum of two numbers. E di ipangalan natin is sum or sum of two numbers. No, at least, no, sa isang glance pa lang, alam mo kung ano yung task na gagawin ng method na to. For example, run, run fast, get background, get final data, compare to, set x, or is empty. Now, usually, ang mga pinapangalan natin for method is verb, no? Or action words. Depende kung ano yung task na ipaperform ng method na to. So, typically, method has a unique name within its class. Ayan. So, for example, no, we'll create our own method, no, applying all those parts ng method na yon. Okay, so let's start creating our own method, no? And then, isa-isahin natin yung bawat parts. So, when we're creating a method, hindi tayo dito naglalagay sa public static void main because main method is already a method. No? Saan tayo maglalagay? So, outside the main method, pero within the public class pa din. No, nasa loob pa rin siya ng public class test or kung ano mang name ng public class niyo. Okay? So, let's create a method that computes the sum of two numbers, for example. Okay. So, yung una nating ilalagay is yung access specifier. Gawin nating public. And then, if we need to return a value, we have to determine the data type or the return type. No? Ano ba yung data type ng value na i-return natin? For example, ay integer. And then the name of the method, for example, sum. Sum of two numbers or sasabi nga natin, when we are naming a method, no, pwede nating ilagay yung verb or yung action word. For example, ay add. No, add two numbers. And then, parameter list. No, anong mga variables yung kailangan mo? Anong mga value yung kakailanganin mo to compute two numbers, no? So, dito maglalagay tayo ng variable. You have to determine the data type first, and then, example A, integer B. So, dalawang numbers lang naman yung kailangan ko. So, dalawa lang yung i-declare ko as parameters. And then, no, inside the curly braces, so dito mangyari yung operations. Example, no, gagawa tayo ng formula to add two numbers. Dito ka maglalagay sa loob. So, int A plus B. And then, yung magiging answer, yun yung i-return ng method. No? So, we have to use the keyword return. And then, saan ba nakalagay yung result? No? Anong variable ba yung pinaglagyan mo ng result ng pag-add ng two numbers? So, ang i-return natin is yung total. So, whenever we call the variable add two numbers, and then we add two parameters, ang automatic na gagawin niya ay ipa-plus niya yung number na yon. Okay, so testing muna natin if there is an error or wala. Okay, so I guess wala ang error. So, yan, nakapag-create na tayo ng method. Let us proceed with method calling. Paano natin i-call yung method na to, no, inside the main method? So the process of method calling is simple. So when a program invokes a method, the program control gets transferred to the called method. So this is called method when returns control to the caller into conditions. The return statement is executed, no? So yun na re-return na or nire-release na yung result, no, by using the return statement, and it reaches the method ending closing brace. Example ng method calling. Ayan, so dito tayo, no, sa baba. The method returning value can be understood by the following example. So kung mapapansin nyo, this is the name of the method, and then these are the arguments, no? Ano bang difference ng parameter sa argument? Yung parameter list, katulad na nakita natin kanina, yun yung nakalagay na variables dun sa method header natin sa taas, yung int A and yung int B. So when we say arguments, these are the actual values na ipapasa natin or ibabato natin dun sa method. Kung sa parameter list, we only use variables na wala pang value. Pagdating sa arguments, meron ng actual values na ibabato natin sa method to perform the calculations. For example, 6 and 9. So, that means, ito na yung dadaan sa A and B, no, para makompute na sila, para may add na sila, and then yung answer is i-return ng method. Ayan, so balik tayo dito, and let's perform method calling. Paano ba tayo magko-call ng method? Now, let's create first a variable to store the result. For example, ay int x. And then you can call the method add two numbers. And then, kailangan mag-match yung parameter list sa arguments na ilalagay mo. So, if you added two variables here, dapat meron ka ring 2 for arguments. For example, ay 5 and 7. And then you can display the result, no, by calling the variable x. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so the result is 12. And so here's our method calling. Now we already called the name of the method, which is add two numbers and then two arguments. So lagyan natin ng tanda. These are parameter lists. ito naman ay arguments or the actual value. So, hindi ako nag-create ng formula mismo dito sa main method, but I created a formula inside the add two numbers method. That means, no, I can call this method, no, as much as I want and as many numbers as I want, no, nang hindi ko kailangan ulit-ulitin yung formula ko. Try tayo ng ibang number. So, let's call again the method, add two numbers, and then add two parameters, 8, 9. And pwede akong maglagay, no, ng kahit gaano karaming numbers. Iba-ibang numbers. For example, ito ay 1, 5, 3, 8, 4, and 9. So, I have 5 numbers. Now, 5 times ko kinol yung method but with different arguments. So, let's see the output. Okay, so I got 12, 17, 6, 11, and 13. So, ganun po yung pag-call ng methods. Meron pang ibang example dito on how to define and call a method. Just like this example, no, kung paano ba natin kinukuha yung minimum value ng isang number. And so, in this case, nauna naman, no, yung public static void main, which is our main method. And then, nasa baba naman yung method na ginawa ng programmer. Again, so this is the access specifier, public static, and then the int is our return type, and then the name of the method or main function, and then we have two parameters here, which is n1 and n2, and then nasa loob yung operations. And then right after the operation, ang i-return nating value is yung value na na-store kay variable min. And then nandito naman yung ating method calling. Dito natin tinatawag yung method again sa loob ni main method. Yan. So we have main function or the name of our method, and then nag-enter siya ng dalawang arguments, which is A and B, na ang equivalent ay 11 for A and B is 6. That's why the minimum value is 6. Meron din namang mga methods na nagre-require ng single argument pero hindi naman required na mag-return ng value. So let's use the same example. A method calling that requires arguments but does not necessarily require to return a value. So that means hindi na natin kailangan ng return. So we should have changed the return type into void. And then we can directly add system out print line, or we can directly print the message or the result, no, dito mismo sa method. For example, the sum is total. And then, yan. No? So, hindi na natin kailangan mag-return ng value, pero directly na mag-print yung result. That's why, hindi na rin natin to kailangan. So, what are we going to do inside the public static void main? Now, we just have to call the method and add arguments. That's it. So, add two numbers, and then add two arguments pa rin, 4 and 5. And so, let's see. Okay, so the sum is 9. Saan nanggaling yung the sum is 9? So, dito po siya galing. Now, we can add or we can call this method as many as we want. For example, 4, 5. Yan, try ulit tayo ng 5 with different arguments. Ayan. So, it will display 5 results because we call the method 5 times. Okay, so we have the sum is 9 and 10, 13, 10, and 4. So I hope you learned something from our topic in this video. Thank you.